They said the Bridge of Amswell had a soul. It had stood for nearly a century, stone, wood, and iron, holding together generations of footsteps. Farmers, lovers, merchants, children, it carried them all, through rain and sun, through war and peace. And in all that time, it had never once fallen, not even a crack, until the day it did. It happened on a calm morning. The air smelled of dew and new harvest. The villagers were crossing as usual when suddenly, a loud snap echoed across the valley. The bridge trembled once, and a section of it gave way, sending a wagon and 2 horses crashing into the river below. No one died, but the shock rippled through Amswell like thunder. The bridge that had never failed had finally broken. The villagers gathered around the ruins in disbelief. Some blamed the rain. Others said the gods were angry. But old Mira, the stonemason's widow, stood quietly at the edge and said, "Things don't break because of one day's storm. They break because of years of wait." Her words lingered. The next morning, everyone came together to repair the bridge. Men brought tools, women carried stones, and children fetched water. But as they began to rebuild, they noticed something strange. The inner beams were rotting, eaten slowly by time and neglect. From the outside, the bridge had looked perfect, strong, proud, unshakable. But inside, it had been dying for years. And as they worked, people began to see the same truth in themselves. Lena, the baker, realized she hadn't spoken to her sister in years over a petty fight. Aaron, the blacksmith, felt the guilt of how often he ignored his son. Even Elder Rowan, who led every meeting in the village, found himself staring at the water, remembering the wife he'd lost and never mourned properly for. They all carried silent cracks, hidden beneath the weight of "everything's fine." For days they rebuilt in silence, each hammer strike echoing with thought. One afternoon, a boy asked Mira, "Why didn't it break sooner, if it was weak inside?" She smiled gently and said, "Because that's how strength works, child. It holds on until it can't anymore. Then it breaks not to fail but to be rebuilt right." When the bridge was finally restored, they didn't make it exactly as before. They built it stronger, layered with new beams, and bound by the lessons learned. At the center, they carved a single line into the stone. "Things break to be understood." From that day, the people of Amswell began to speak differently. They checked on each other more. They apologized faster. They shared their worries before they grew too heavy. It was as if fixing the bridge had taught them to fix themselves. Years later, travelers would pass through and ask about the saying carved into the stone. And the villagers would tell the story not about the bridge that broke, but about the day a village learned that even the strongest things need care, attention, and truth. Sometimes, what breaks isn't the problem. It's the silence before it does. If Amswell's story reached you today, remember, strength isn't about never breaking. It's about having the courage to rebuild what time and pride have worn down. Now ask yourself, what bridge in your life is holding too much weight? Don't wait for it to collapse. Mend it now, before it breaks only once.